Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, Stardust Crusaders, Episode 12. Alright, and this one starts off with Enyaba pretty much just freaking out because her son was killed. Alright, and she decides to send the Empress after them, and I mean, she was already there, but you know, whatever. Well, maybe that was them rewinding time a little bit to show us why exactly she was there and why she saved Whole Horse. Well, whatever. It doesn't really. It's not that big of a deal. Um, so the Joestar crew, they all arrive in Varanasi. All right. That thing, the Empress. I guess I'll just call it the Empress on Joseph's arm is just getting bigger and bigger. And they tell him to go see a doctor about it, so he does. And that doctor tries to cut it off. However, the Empress uses that scalpel in order to kill him. So the doctor ends up getting killed, and this nurse comes in, and she thinks that Joseph was the one who killed him. All right. Oh yeah. Also, the Empress cut off one of Joseph's fingers too. Yeah. Um, but yeah. So the nurse runs away and pretty much just tells the police everything she heard from the Empress, like Joseph's name, his hotel, just a lot of information. So Joseph runs back to the hotel. However, he can't get in because the police are already there. All right, and that's when he just gets annoyed at the Empress and tries to smash it against a wall or something, and it grows out arms and like protects itself and like stops itself from ramming into the wall. I'm like, whoa, this dang, this thing grows quickly. All right, and then it didn't stop there either because it ended up holding onto the railing that was there. So Joseph's trying to pull his arm away. He can't pull his arm away. He's essentially handcuffed. All right, and then the Empress starts yelling to the police, and she actually calls the police over. All right, and Joseph's like, okay, this is not good. This is not good. All right, I need to get out of this somehow. He tries to use ripples, but they don't work. All right. Only a stand can defeat a stand. All right. So he ends up using Hermit Purple, and the vines or the thorns or whatever you want to call them, they wrap around the Empress, squish it, I guess you could say, and then he's able to finally get off and run away. Joseph running away. It's funny. um, and after he runs away, he almost runs into Polnareff and Nana, who is the Empress's user, the stand user of the Empress. Um, she ends up preventing this by causing distractions and all that. She did it another time later on too, cause a distraction so that Polnareff wouldn't pay attention and would miss Joseph. Um, but yeah, so Joseph ends up missing Polnareff. The Empress is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The longer he's running away, the more time he spends not defeating her, the bigger the Empress gets. And when it gets to a certain size, it can actually attack Joseph now because its arms can actually reach. Okay, so it starts attacking Joseph and he starts causing a scene. This was funny. These dudes are looking like, what is wrong with this dude? What is he doing? It was just funny. But what he ends up doing is he uses these ashes in order to take a spirit photograph, all right, and find out where this bucket, not a bucket, what are those things called? Um, Whatever. I'll just call it a bucket. I know it's not a bucket, but I'll just call it one. He puts his arm into tar, okay? And at first, I know I thought this, but I thought he was trying to drown the Empress. All right, that doesn't work. All right, that doesn't work because it's a stand and it's technically not alive, so it can't be drowned or suffocated or anything like that. But we end up learning that tar was actually not to suffocate the Empress, but its purpose was to harden and therefore stop the movements of the Empress. And once he does that, he's able to destroy it using the thorns of Hermit Purple. So yeah, and this there was a funny scene here where he it was kind of nostalgic too. It reminded me of part two when when Joseph predicted exactly what she was going to say, and then she ended up saying it. That was fun. Also, another thing that was fun was how Joseph kept saying "oh no" throughout the episode. That was funny too. Um, But yeah, he ends up destroying the Empress. Nana ends up getting killed. Polnareff gets his heart broken. Not really, but you know, he liked her, I guess you could say. I don't know how real those feelings were, but whatever. Not a big deal. Um, Everyone ends up meeting up at the end of the episode and they drive off. But someone in another car is following them, so that's interesting. We see in the preview that the girl is with them again, so maybe that's who's in the car. Because at first I was thinking it was a stand user, but once I saw her in the preview, I thought, well, maybe it's actually her. Um, but yeah, those are my. I mean, there aren't many choices. It can be. It's either her or it's a stand user of some sort. So it's got to be one of those two. Um, so next episode could be interesting. As for this episode, I will give it a 7 out of 10. It was a simple episode. It was an enjoyable episode. There were some fun moments in there, and I liked how they actually gave Joseph a fight because Joseph hasn't really done it. He hasn't had a fight of his own. Chotaro has, uh, Abdal has, Polnareff has, Noriaki. Not he hasn't really, but he has been involved. Oh, actually, yeah, he did with the on the plane. Okay, so yeah, he did. So everyone's been having fights except for Joseph, but now he's got his. I thought that was cool how they did that. So, and they gave him. He had an entire part. He had an entire part to himself, but he needed to do something here too. So I'm glad that they let him have a fight here. So yeah, that's it, you guys. I'll give this episode a 7 out of 10, and that's that. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.